right. Unfortunately, I was correct. I had said almost 2 years ago, once Chubb was signed, the cap apocalypse was coming. I was told, no. I actually said a few weeks ago, I said, we're going to lose Wilkins, we're going to lose Van Ginkel, we're going to lose Hunt, and we're going to lose Connor. I also said I didn't think Tua would get his contract. He'd get the fifth-year option, but I think I might be wrong on that. But so far, I'm swinging 3 out of 5, and I think end up going to be 4 out of 5. I do think I'll get that one wrong. But right now, I feel like, the jilted girlfriend who's, sorry, ladies out there, boyfriend, we all been on one side or the other, crying, don't leave. Van Ginkel, I love Van Ginkel. I love Christian Wilkins. I love Robert Hunt because offensive line position. We're saying goodbye to Brandon Jones as well. And so this is what it's going to be, guys. I'm going to get into all of it, all the saying goodbye and what it really means, because I hear all kinds of stuff. And I can be wrong. I'm going to give my evaluations, but I pretty much have nailed all of this for a while now, ahead of just about everybody. So I would say I have some credence. Again, I can be wrong, but I think this is going to be the way it's going to play out. And I'm not too excited, but there is some hope within it. We've got to let the thing play out, and I'll get into the future hope and stuff like that. All right, guys. So that's basically it. I'm going to be doing the live on Friday. Going to be talking about the draft. The draft is critical now. I do think we're trading back. I think they're going to do anything to trade back because they need more picks. They need to fill this thing up. And I was learned by Al from 3 Yard Per Carry about the compensatory pick system. We'll end up getting, for what appears, a 6 for Brandon Jones, for third round for Wilkins, likely a third round, maybe a fourth, but likely a third for Hunt. And we got to see what happens with Connor. And then Van Ginkel will probably get something for that too. So there's going to be a lot of compensatory picks coming in next year. But this year, we have to get these picks hot to trot. So I'm going to cover that in the live at 10 p.m. On his channel Friday. So come check us out there. Doing the Twitter thing, Fins News, Curtis at Fins News 1, PHINSNEWS 1. Come check me out there. I'm doing the Twitter thing. I'm trying to build it up. I'm getting there. So that's it, guys. I want to say thanks for the likes, subscribes, comments, the views. That's what keeps me in business. It's not easy being on the edge here. Sometimes I go over and make mistakes, but I think I'm on the edge, kind of saying things a lot of other people don't. So I need all the help I can get to keep this thing going because I love to do it. I really do. So I'm just really grateful for all you've done for me. I want to give you a shout out and a shout out to Ace Spread, my sponsor, because without the two of you, this show ain't going down. Ace Per Head's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. All right, Barry Jackson posted this. Dolphins at this hour are $25 million over the cap and thus must realistically clear at least $40 million in the next 51 hours. Should be fascinating next 2 days. Totally true. They can commit whatever they want to whoever they want, not in writing, next 2 days, but the cap must be compliant by 4 p.m. Wednesday. So we're going to see a lot of stuff get worked out. They're moving money for Tehran. I covered that yesterday. They're definitely doing that. He's going to be here for 2 more years. If you move the money from this year to next year, that's this year and next year. You can't get rid of Tehran. He's going to be here. They're going to have to maybe do something with Chubb, something with Hill, something with Ramsey, and maybe get the long-term extension with Tua. These things got to get done. There's no way around it. But there's problems with that, obviously, because Chubb's got an injury history. Tehran's got an injury history. Ramsey's 30 years old now, heading into 31. Hill's 30 now, heading to 31. Both those guys are stars. But I don't care who you are. Even the best of the best, only a few of the best of the best can really last that long. This game's a tough game. So we're rolling the dice and betting the foundation of this team on guys that are a little bit questionable. Now, some people don't like Tua. I like Tua. I'm not saying he's the greatest ever, but look what they paid for Baker Mayfield. It's like $35 a season or something like that. So the quarterback position is going to get a lot. It's not going to end up being 50. They're going to say 50, but Omar Kelly does a great job showing you it's going to be less than that. But I don't feel comfortable with extending Chubb. I never felt comfortable getting him. I don't feel comfortable with Tehran, even though I love him, because 2 years, it's a lot to ask. And then Ramsey, he coming off an injury last year, and now you ask him to go again. Cornerback's not a position that, you really most succeed or thrive at 30, 31. I mean, I think he can for another year or two, but maybe. Hill obviously will, but still, there's a lot of money tied into that. So Brandon Jones is gone. He went to the Broncos for $20 million over 3 years, so it's a little bit under $7 a year. Good for him. I don't think that it's a big loss because he's very scheme dependent. You got to put him in the box. You got to get him to blitz. If you're doing that, it's a great signing, but I don't think that's what we're going to do here. We want those two high cover safeties. I'm sure one of them is going to come up in a box a little bit too, but we're going to need those two high cover guys. So it sucks to see him go. You don't want to waste a pick, but you guess what happens. You guys come in and let him go. He's one of the guys you expected. Wilkins, $27.5 million a year, going to the Raiders. I had said about 2 years ago he was going to get 25. We should have signed him for 23. He's getting 27.5. He's going to be with Max Crosby, and he's going to do extremely well. We're going to feel it here. I like Zach Sealer, but I can get into why. But Zach Sealer is a outside guy. He's from like that 2 over. He can play inside, but because the way he's created, the way he's tall and rangy, he suffers a little bit in there, and he could do good. But Wilkins is the guy that set the table for everybody. So you could say, oh, he had a bad game here, but who got opened up for him? And it's not an easy answer, but I, in my opinion, a lot. And we're going to miss Wilkins. We should have signed him in 22 when Lawrence, as I said, got his contract. We'd got him for 23, and we'd have saved money. But then there was a good Barry Jackson here, another one, where it said, where is it right here? The Dolphins in this hour. No, that's not it. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, Joe Shad. If Christian Wilkins is worth 27.5 for 4 seasons, I think Dolphins should have found a way to franchise him, tag him for 1 year and 22 mil. And that's the truth. They could have had a deal either way and extend this out. But even if you franchise tagged him, then you could have had an ability to get more than a compensatory 3rd round pick, because that 3rd round pick is like a 4th round pick. And we are not getting our due for that player. And it was a very good pick on that player. So Wilkins is gone. You're going to see the run defense. It's not going to be the same. I'm not saying it's going to be terrible. I think we got to get that nose tackle in there. But those guys take a little bit of time to grow into themselves. So I expect to see a settling down, a diminishing in the run game this year. You can't say goodbye to Wilkins, and some people say he's not worth 27. I'm paying 26 for Chubb. Is Chubb worth it? He's not. He missed half of last year, missed some of the year before that, and he's going to miss most of this year. I think he would have been worth it. I think he would have been way worth it at 23. But, So then I'll say that for Van Ginkel, the Gink. I like Gink a ton. He went over to with Flores again in the Vikings for 2 years for $20 million. And some people are like, why didn't he come here? Because he wants to start. He signed a 2-year contract. He's going to go there and be used, and then he'll do his 2 years, and either he'll get the extension because they say, this is a guy we want to build around, or he'll get another contract for that 3-year mark because he's been a proven starter. If he comes here, he'll start here until Phillips and Chubb are back, and then he'll sit. He'll sit all next year, and he won't get that next contract. So once we signed Chubb, Van Ginkel was gone. The only reason he came back is he looked around and Fangio sold him on it, and that was it. The guy wants to play. He could play. He wants to get a bigger contract. So it sucks that he's gone. We're going to miss him a ton. That was another guy. I don't know why you let him go. Just a health factor. Yeah, Chubb is a bigger talent, but if you only play 50% of your games, and you're paying him the guy 2.5 times the amount, it made no sense. It was a terrible, terrible decision. And I'm not a Johnny after the fact. You can go back. I said we should have gone long-term with him since about 21, early 2021. Did some videos on it. But he's gone too. And then Hunt is going to be at the Panthers. He's going to get $20 million a year for 5 years. And, you'll say, oh, we can't afford that. But in 5 years, that $20 million is going to be like lower end. But we could have had him in 22. How did we not see this guy as a guy for the future? We can't draft offensive linemen. He was the only offensive lineman we've drafted beside Tunsil, but my blind grandmother that knows nothing about football could have drafted Tunsil at that spot. Other than that, we've missed big and missed, not too often because we don't even really draft offensive linemen. How do you get a guy like this and not lock him up? We should have found a way to keep him. This offensive line is circling the toilet. You got to be honest. We can add some stuff, but right now, Eichenberg is your starter. Jackson's your starter. We brought Robert Jones back, who I like, and I'm going to get into that a little bit. But he's got some knock knees. He's he's got a little mobility issue, so he's not really a starter. He's a nice backup. He'd be a starter in an inside zone scheme. And then you got Tehran, who's injured a lot. Offensive line makes the NFL world go round. And losing Hunt is even more baffling and curious than the Wilkins thing, because how do you sign to a huge contract? Everybody else is adding to the offensive line position. Look at Burrow. They're saying that the elbow that got snapped, he's going to lose 20% of his grip. Guy's getting a snot beat at him because they never took care of the offensive line. So this one hurts a lot. Personally, I like Hunt. I like Van Ginkel. I like, Avcila. We still got him. And Wilkins more as a person, interesting guy. I do like Hunt a ton, but that piece was a huge piece. You're going to feel that, especially if we don't bring Connor back. And I don't see that either, because, maybe you'll have the money back when Xavier Howard comes on the books, and then maybe you can do it. But ask yourself, does Connor want to come back here? He didn't get the long-term contract and got injured, and now his money is suffering because we didn't commit to him. So I think that if it's all things are equal, he's going to want to go someplace else. But maybe not. We'll see. But this offensive line is in a very, very bad shape. And then if the offensive line doesn't pan out, then they're going to say Tua sucks. I don't know. We have to draft extremely well and find some players, but right now it's not. It's very scary. Now, the compensatory picks, Alf was telling me, I'm digging into it now. It's the number of snaps and the picks that you get. It's not based on their last year with the team. It's on their first year with their next team. And that would be great because Hunt, Jones, Van Gink, all four of those guys, you can get up to 4 compensatory picks. I think all 4 of those guys can actually generate you good picks. They're saying now that Jones maybe was 6th. But still, that would be a bonus for the future. But you're talking we're rebuilding. You're talking we're already in the rebuilding phase. Now, I said in a podcast a few months ago, Dolphins, Greer, McDaniel conference sure is concerning. I made a lot of statements, and a lot of them have come true. And it is concerning. It should be concerning. Because people say, well, these are the best seasons we've had, and I feel great about what happened the last 2 seasons. But that's sad. Real teams, real franchises aren't jumping for joy over going to the playoffs and losing. And then burning out your roster and then having to reboot. And then you'll say, well, Greer had, I hear another thing. Well, Greer had all these picks. He can't draft, but look at all these picks. Look at Greer in 16, 17, and 18. The drafting was terrible, but he had normal draft capital. And then he moved off Tunsil, got extra amount of capital. He got rid of Minka, got extra capital. He traded back with Waddle, and he got extra capital. And, lost one because of the San Fran thing. But he had more capital than just about anybody in the history of the game. How do you're going to hit on something, but when you go to, instead of having multiple first round picks in the draft, to multiple 4th round, early third round, 4th round picks with the compensatory picks, your chances of hitting, even if you're a good GM, diminishes. So, Greer did have some good players, but how do you not keep them? And how are you going to do when you don't have that overabundance, that vast? You're going to look more like 16, 17, and 18, which was terrible. Remember Carew, 2 third-round picks. Bust. Charles Harris over TJ Watt. We got to be realistic. I mean, it's possible that Greer learns and things get better. But even just the diminishing of capital is going to make it harder. And this season is going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. You're not going to have Chubb and Phillips for a good portion, and then they're going to come in and have to ease their way in. You're going to install a new defense with a new DC. Yeah, the offensive system will continue, but you're going to have no offensive line. This offensive line is going to be bad, and Eichenberg is starting. You will have no drive power. Teams will know what you're going to do. Now, I do like Smith. Jonnu Smith is going to help, but you got to be, at this stage, we can't even, if we sign some big free agents, there's a whole deep thing, and Alpha is really trying to help me out, figure that out. But when you sign those guys, then you lose any compensatory picks. So this looks like they are going bare bones, and your Boner and your back end guys, Tyndall and Easy. These guys are going to have to play, and if they don't pan out at a high level, it's going to be a thin team. And maybe that's the plan: sink and have a lower pick, and then you'll have more ammo to go into the. I don't know, but it's concerning. You should have built around Hunt. You should have built around Wilkins. Should have set them up in 22 around Van Ginkel. You should have found a way with your picks to get that cornerback instead of having to draft Ramsey, trade for Ramsey, who's going to be here maybe 2 more years, maybe. And now you got to pay. Next year, you're going to have to pay Holland. You're going to have to pay Phillips, and you're going to have to pay Waddle. I don't know, guys. It's not pretty, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But I know for 100% this team lacked physicality, not on defense, but it will lack it now a little bit. And it certainly lacked it on offense. And you pull out Connor and you pull out Hunt. Certainly Hunt's gone now. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. But let's see how it plays out. Draft process coming up. I don't think there's going to be a bigger draft in the Dolphins. There has been, but it's going to be huge because if this doesn't play out right, Dolphins are going to really struggle in 24. And that is going to be an interesting thing. But let's hope not. Let's hope not. We got to play Wilkins against the Raiders next year. That sucks. All right. Anyway, this is Curtis saying, keep the coverage up. I'll get more to you. Let's hope we got to go all in, man. I'm going all in on this draft. Friday night, I'm going to be covering it. A guy who knows a lot about the draft. You guys, I want to hear from you. I'm starting my studying now because I don't think we're paying much of anybody. Right now, it's about moving money with the guys we got. That, I think, is going to be the high focus. I'm hoping somehow we can keep one guy. Somehow we can get a good little pick in there, a little free agent on this offensive line. We need it. We really do. Curtis saying, catch you next time. Be well. Go Fins. Start building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.